Running is a great way to exercise. I enjoy it very much. Scott ran a 5K. He won with a time of 17:35. What do these two sentences have in common? If you said that they're both about running, you're right. But these two running sentences also have something else in common. They're both types of run-ons, which is an error you don't want to make in your college essays. Let's look at these sentences individually. Running is a great way to exercise. I enjoy it very much. This is a type of run-on sentence called a comma splice. Here, the writer has used a comma to join two independent clauses. Independent clause is just another term for a sentence. Think of a comma as a weak punctuation mark. It isn't strong enough to join two sentences all by itself. There are several ways to revise comma splices. Let's take a look at them. One way to correct this problem is to use a semicolon instead of a comma. The semicolon is a stronger punctuation mark than a comma. It's similar to a period, except that instead of dividing two sentences, it is used to join two sentences together. One note of caution: it's best to use a semicolon only when you're joining two independent clauses that are in some way closely related to each other. Luckily, our running sentence fits the bill. Another way to revise a comma splice is by using an even stronger punctuation mark, the period. Simply separate the two complete sentences by replacing the comma with a period. Yet another way to fix a comma splice is to leave the comma in place, but add a coordinating conjunction. These words are often called the fanboys words: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Be sure to choose your coordinating conjunction carefully based on what the sentence conveys. To show contrast, but, or, yet, and nor are your best options. To show similarity between your two independent clauses, it's best to go with and, for, or so. In this case, our corrected sentence would read, "Running is a great way to exercise, and I enjoy it very much." You may also consider other ways to revise comma splices, such as rewriting the two independent clauses as one independent clause. Running is a great way to exercise that I enjoy very much. Or you can rewrite one of the independent clauses as a dependent clause. Running is a great way to exercise, which I enjoy very much. No matter how you decide to revise a comma splice, the most important thing to remember is that two independent clauses are really two complete sentences, and they can never be joined with just a comma. Next, let's look at the second type of run-on, the fused sentence. Scott ran a 5K. He won with a time of 17:35. A fused sentence occurs when the writer joins two independent clauses with no punctuation. This causes the clauses to run together, creating our second type of run-on. When attempting to revise a fused sentence, you must first identify where the two independent clauses should be separated. To be complete, a sentence must have both a subject and a verb. In our example sentence, the subject of the first independent clause is Scott, and the verb is ran. To determine where the sentence becomes a fused sentence, look for the subject and verb of the second independent clause. In this case, he and won. Once you have determined where the division needs to occur, you can decide how you want to revise the fused sentence, using the same methods we used to revise the comma splice. Again, you can use a semicolon. Scott ran a 5K. He won with a time of 17:35. Use a period. Scott ran a 5K. He won with a time of 17:35. Use a comma with a coordinating conjunction. Scott ran a 5K and he won with a time of 17:35. Rewrite the two independent clauses as one independent clause. Scott ran a 5K that he won with a time of 17:35. Or rewrite one of the independent clauses as a dependent clause. Scott ran a 5K, which he won with a time of 17:35. Any of these strategies can work for revising both comma splices and fused sentences. Remember that a run-on is a grammatically flawed sentence that contains two independent clauses, but lacks the proper punctuation or word to join them. It is not merely a very long sentence, which is a common myth. As you learn to identify the main subjects and verbs in your sentences, you will have no problem revising any run-on sentences in your essays.